This podcast is brought to you by Versatile Terrain. And Versatile Terrain, if you do not know, are the company that make those nameplates that you see on our miniatures in our pictures. And I honestly can't even begin to describe the full amount of services that Versatile Terrain offer, because every time I record one of these ad reads, they implement extras that automatically make this out of date. So what I will tell you is that their customer service is second to none, and they offer what I consider to be one of the most important accessories in Kill Team, as they really bring that narrative to the tabletop. I can't recommend them enough. They are the original, they are the best, and you should head to versatileterrain.co.uk to find out some more about them. Welcome to Chill Team. My name is Joe, and first of all, if you're new here, just to let you know, we are usually a Kill Team Battle Report podcast. However, due to various lockdowns and everything that's going on with COVID-19 at the minute, someone at some point in time, someone in like 2024 is listening to this, and they're like, "Oh yeah, remember COVID?" Hopefully. If that's you, if you're in 2024 and you're listening to this, email us. Let me know you're listening to this now. But yeah, anyway, so because of all that, we haven't been able to record, obviously, and this year's been a bit up and down with when we could put episodes out and things like that. There's been lockdowns. We've been out of lockdowns, in different tiers and things. So we've settled on the idea that as we went into the most recent lockdown, which we're actually out of again now, however, literally today as I record this, we've gone into, or our specific area where we're based has gone into a higher tier of alertness. And I still don't really know what, I've just not done anything the entire time. So when they do this, oh, it's tier 3, tier 2 or whatever, it's no different to me. I haven't been out. I haven't seen anyone. It's been kind of crazy. So basically, long story short, we've decided that regardless of what happens, into the new year, and we'll reevaluate in a few months maybe, we're going to be doing this series rather than our normal Kill Team podcasts. So a couple of things. Number one, you've seen by the title, we're going to be playing through a Dark Heresy campaign. And Dark Heresy, if you're not sure what it is, it's a Warhammer 40k role-playing game. We're playing off the second edition that was released in 2014, I believe. And it's something that we can play remotely and we can record, and we can actually get content out to you weekly now. You're going to have weekly episodes. They'll be a little bit shorter than what you're used to, but weekly, back to weekly, throughout Christmas and New Year and all this. So that's one plus to it. To be completely honest, it's a lot harder to record for us. It's way easier to record with the actual podcast setup that we have that you're hearing me on right now, as opposed to recording over Zoom. But we've made do with it, and we bought some extra equipment to make sure that it works as well as it can. But I think it's still something that I'm going to be proud to put together and give to you guys on a weekly basis. And I can't wait to hear what you think about it. This episode that you're about to hear is purely character introduction, and then next week will be character creation in terms of rolling for stats and things like that. So just to outline it for you, what you're about to hear is us actually finding out a bit about our characters for the first time as well. So we're finding out with you when we're reading sheets out and bits of text that Reese has written for us. We're reading them for the first time. So we're learning about our characters along with you to a certain extent. There's a certain amount of things that we'd chosen ahead of time so that Reese knew how to build the characters. But other than that, we're learning about them along with you. And then, of course, when we're rolling for our stats and things next week, we'll definitely be learning about our characters along with you, because it's random. We got to roll. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. One thing I did want to point out is that this isn't going to lose what this podcast is about. We're obviously a little bit more leaning towards being, we like to be entertaining rather than necessarily super nailed on, just straightforward gameplay. And given that we've never played Dark Heresy before, I imagine that there will be things that we get wrong or we do differently to you, or any of those things. Our main focus is to be entertaining with this, so I hope we can do that. However, we do want to get the rules right and we do want to play the game properly. So if you are, and I invite this when we do Kill Team anyway, but we're obviously a bit more knowledgeable about Kill Team. But if you're a Dark Heresy player or you've got experience playing Dark Heresy, feel free to email us. The contact form is on chillteam.co.uk. Please email us feedback and let me know what we're doing wrong, what we've done right, what was good, what was bad, all this stuff, because it'd be really valuable to us to hear from people who have experience with the game. That being said, I think we've had a pretty solid start and I can't wait for you to hear it. Oh, I will remind you to rate and review on iTunes. If you could give us 5 stars and a cheeky little review on iTunes, that'd be amazing. If you could share the podcast with a friend, that would be amazing. Those are the things that help us the most. Oh, actually, one more thing. One more thing. I could just edit this and make it sound like I remembered it, but I probably won't. It's going to be in video. This is going to be in video other than these first 2 episodes. They won't be in video. But when we actually start the campaign, video will be a thing. So go and subscribe to us on YouTube, because you'll get video and you'll get clips and hopefully get some additional content over there as well at some point. So yeah, I think that's it. That's everything. Okay, I'll hand over to Reese for the official intro, and then we'll get to learn a little bit about the characters that we'll be playing in the depths of Heresy.
Beautiful intro there. Thank you very much, Joe. So this is the depths of Heresy. We were going to play it easy and do one of the book campaigns at first, but then we thought, well, we don't do anything easily. So we decided to write our own. So I've wrote an intro to the campaign, ambiguously, to not give too much away. But yeah, the campaign is going to be pretty much built around the events as you would a D&D campaign, things like that. It's roughly planned out. I've kind of got like a rough guide. I've got a few characters, ideas, things like that. But these guys are going to be the ones that they're the bulk of it. They're the real characters, and yeah, we'll go through that after. But I'll get to the introduction now. The first time these guys have heard it as well, so should be interesting. Part of me, as it is quite ambiguous, part of me feels like maybe I could have gone into more detail to excite them a little bit more. But it's mystery. It's not like, I don't want it to be like, yeah, this is what you're doing, this is where you're going, all that kind of stuff. So I'll get into it now. But I wrote this, so if it's a bit weird or something, then yeah, ignore it. But the introduction. So the letters reached their designated recipients in record time, with the data stamp affixed to each claiming that they had been sent just 4 days prior. This was a remarkable feat, considering the archaic methods of delivery and the state of the over-encumbered interplanetary postal service. A red seal adorned the closure, and the eye insignia pressed into the wax said it all. This letter arrived exactly when it was needed, not a day early or an hour late. Within hours, 3 strangers from 3 incredibly different paths sat in the bay of the shuttle. The only thing they had in common were the letters they each held and their loyalty to the Imperium. This mismatched group has a duty that only they can undertake, and that is why they are here now, for duty is called upon them. The Vox emitter crackled into life, the sharp feedback cutting through the silence like a chain blade. We're almost at the rendezvous. Can you confirm the station identification to be CT 34M. The comms are still down on board. Confirmed. A strong female voice replied. Very well, I will take us in. Your contact is Valen Gex, a low-level officer with the Goran Logistics. We don't know if he can be trusted, but he was the one to alert us to this station's predicament. Further objectives can be fed to your data tether directly. It may sting a little. Affirmative, said one of the other strangers. He looked down at the envelope he was holding, his gaze transfixed on the insignia in the wax for the Emperor's Holy Inquisition.
And that's where we kick off.
Yeah, so you're pretty much, when we kick this whole thing off, that's where you're on the shuttle, you're going to land basically, and then from there it will develop further.
Cool, that sounds good. I'm enthralled, and I hope I speak for the listeners as well when I say that. So how do we kick things off? How do we get things going with our characters and stuff like
that? Well, you'll have a little like thing I sent through to you all, so you can read your own characters out. But as a quick little backstory for each character, based on things that you obviously chose, and it's not all. I'm not choosing obviously everything for you guys. You've already chose your character names, your pretty much your location you came from, like all the backstory to your character kind of thing.
Yeah, we gave you a set load of the things that you normally choose, and then you sort of ran with it.
Yeah, I just wrote some extra bits just to like fluff it out a little bit. But yeah, it's all good. So we can start with whoever wants to go first, and then you can describe your character.
So just reading our things out, and then we're gonna roll for our stats and things like that after.
Yeah.
Let's start with. I'm kind of more interested in Toby, to be honest. So I think let's start with. I want to hear Toby's number one character name, number two, where your character is from, first of all.
So, I am...
Whoa, he's really getting into character. What is going on there?
Yeah, what's happened there?
What? Making all sorts... I'm making some shit noises.
Oh, are you actually making noises? And I thought you...
No, I wasn't trying to. I think it was just like impeccable timing.
I thought that was like...
I thought you were just getting into that voice changer right now.
Actually busted out like a voice changer thing.
It's in the works, but it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
All right. So
go ahead.
I will be role playing as Tiber 343 Mark IV.
Cool.
I am. Yep. I am. My home world is going to be a forge world known as Edux, and I am going to be playing as a Adeptus Mechanicus.
All right, so tell us a little bit about forge worlds in general, then, based in Dark Heresy.
So, forge worlds are the main armourers and assembly lines of the Imperium. The denizens are likely to have been born to do a specific task, just like their parents before them, and their children that will come after, focusing their entire lives on but a single job. In game terms, this benefits me in the intelligence and toughness fields, but my fellowship, i.e. how I interact with other people, is at a negative.
Cool. Sounds great.
Basically,
sounds real good.
It sounds like real life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sitting in the workshop, creating stuff.
Just pumping stuff out.
Just continuously, just making helmets and stuff. Mad.
What about, is there any other information game-wise that the Forge World gives you?
I am granted the Ominous Sire's Chosen attribute, and this gives me the choice of either Technical Knock, which lets me unjam a jammed weapon, or the Weapon Tech Talent, which gives me bonuses on things like plasma and melter weapons.
Okay. Cool. So we'll get to those when we have to choose and things like that. We'll get to that in a bit.
We shall.
Yeah. So for me, I am Mr. Did we say Smedley in the end with an M?
Yeah.
I've said this name like 5 different times while we've been planning it. So I am Bomber Smedley. Oh shit! I've clicked on the wrong thing. Hang on. So I am from a hive world. Now, hive worlders exist in cities that reach kilometers into the sky from the wasted surface of toxic, hostile environments, ruined through many centuries of industry. For a hive worlder, his life is but one cog in a gigantic city machine, living and dying in the same few cubic kilometers in which he was born. Which does sound like, again, real life.
London.
In game terms, I benefit from agility and perception, but willpower, which sounds like a bit of a
It's quite
dig,
depressing.
to be honest. But willpower is a negative there, and I do also gain teaming masses in metal mountains. A hive world character moves through crowds as if they were in open terrain and gains a plus 20 bonus to navigate surface tests in closed spaces, which sounds good to me. I've never played the game.
Yeah,
that sounds handy. I'm just walking around like nothing.
Well, you're going to a space station as well.
Whereas
so that might be
Toby's on
really
wheels,
good.
we can't even get him upstairs. And
Yeah, special access required at all times.
yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit about Bomber Smedley, and then going over to Barrett.
My name is Cephalus.
Nice.
And I'm from the penal colony. Which is where most world classifications stem from. These types of terrestrial life forms found there, penal colonies are defined by strict imperial law. In every expansion, there are those, I can't pronounce it,
Recidivists.
looters, murderers, and thieves who appear in its wake. The most violent or persistent offenders, if not granted summary execution at the time of apprehension, may be shipped off-world to facilities designed to house them permanently.
Whew.
It is here that the lawbreakers are left to wither and die, though some survive to escape their sentence and fight for the Emperor on other fronts. I get some good toughness and perception, and I think that's saying negative to influence.
Bad
Yep.
influence, yeah.
Bad influence, but I got...
We don't give a shit about what you have to say, basically, I think.
Yeah.
But you are pretty tough.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty tough. I get some base buffs, and it just says I'm tough.
What's that?
And then the other thing...
What's the finger
Yeah,
on
go
the
on.
pulse?
Yeah, so then I've got finger on the pulse. One survives a penal colony by instinctively knowing who is in charge and who is a threat. The penal colony character begins with 1 rank in the common law, underworld, and scrutiny skills, and starts with the peer talent, which is criminal cartels.
Ooh.
Again,
So you're
I have
well
no
connected.
idea what it means, but it sounds good, and it sounds like it'll be helpful.
Yeah, sounds pretty tasty.
Weirdly, I actually didn't read all of this before I did your backstory. And your
But you actually got it
backstory
pretty
is really, it's like pretty much spot on. I only read Penal Colony. I didn't.
That's all you needed to know.
That's mad fun. Anyway,
So going through then, Toby, you already mentioned that you are an admech. Do you want to tell us a little bit
Adeptus
about that?
Mechanicus. I can. Much of mankind's mastery over technology has been forgotten, and what remains are closely guarded secrets, held in jealous hands of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Wrapped up in superstitious beliefs and rites, the knowledge of how to operate the Imperium's most advanced devices falls to the followers of the machine god. The Adeptus Mechanicus guards and oversees the ancient knowledge and the mysteries of making technology function. I'm a robot boy.
Not a man, a
Robot
boy.
But a boy.
Robot boy. Nice. You've got some decent skills by the
I
looks of
do.
it.
I'm a very skillful boy, but not one for the punching or the shooting. Is the way this is going to run.
Okay. Do we want to
the,
run through all the skills now, or do we do that when we come to talking about the character sheets later?
These ones are starting skills, so they're probably... You can probably go through them now, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't got to go into depth to what they mean. I just...
Yeah, because we don't know what they mean anyway at the moment.
True. We could have shielded that like we do know what they mean, and we kind of sound like we know what we're talking about. But yeah, let's go ahead and admit that we don't know what they mean yet, but we will read them out for the moment. So do you want to walk us through the AdMex one of those then, Toby?
Yeah, so this, I get some starting skills. I get a choice of awareness or operate, and I get to choose a vehicle type if I go for operate.
Okay.
And I gain the common law Adeptus Mechanicus, as well as logic, security, and tech. That's quite a few things. I'm all about this.
Fair.
And then, I get some starting equipment. I get either an autogun, which we all know what an autogun is, or a hand cannon. I mean, that sounds pretty tasty.
That sounds much better.
I get a monotask servo skull or an optical mechadendrite.
It's easy for you to say.
We will look into those a little bit later. I am dressed in imperial robes, and I have with me 2 vials of sacred unguents.
You're struggling with this one.
Wait, let me... Oh, sacred unguents.
Yeah,
That's basically
oil.
just a vial of...
Sacred lubricants.
Sacred,
The God Machine Emperor's lubricants.
Okay.
Yep.
I start with a few talents.
Yep.
One being mechadendrite use. I'm assuming that would help with the optical mechadendrite. And weapon training, solid projectile. Now, that probably means that I'm envisioning this hand cannon to be some sort of wrist-mounted cannon. But it could just be a very large gun.
True.
I start with a few aptitudes in knowledge or tech. So, we'll see where that takes us.
Yep.
And then finally, for choosing this background, I get replace the weak flesh. An Adeptus Mechanicus character counts the availability of all cybernetics as 2 levels more available. So rare items count as average, and very rare items count as scarce. So I can get hold of my little robot arms and my little mechadendrites much more readily than most characters.
Okay.
Nice. You'll be there looking like a spider.
Oh yeah, Doc Octopus, episode 2. Calling it now.
Literally like a pirate's cannon from a pirate ship on each hand, because that's some kind of like old technology from like...
I found the STC for the fucking Black Pearl.
Cool. We'll go on to my guy then, I suppose. I am an Imperial Guard. Or just a guardsman, I guess. But Imperial Guard is what it's called. And the little bit of info given about them is to protect the Imperium from its many enemies. The Imperium maintains a massive fighting force known as the Imperial Guard. Tithed, is that the word? From worlds across the galaxy, the Imperial Guard is an immense force of countless billions, always at constant war, and always recruiting more soldiers to replace the fallen. Many guardsmen do not live even a full day after entering the battle, so this series could be quite short. But those who do survive become hardened combat veterans, skilled in the bringing of death and facing the worst foes the galaxy has to offer, which I just saw as fitting me perfectly. And as for starting skills, what?
You are all of those things, to be fair.
True, yeah.
You are a hardened combat veteran, and you bring death.
As for my starting skills, Athletics, also true for real life. I'm a very athletic person, if you can't tell. Command, Common Law, Imperial Guard, Medicae or Operate, brackets, Surface. I don't know what the difference between Surface and other parts of these skills might be. I don't know what the other options are, but and Navigate, also Surface. They're my starting skills. Starting equipment, I get to choose either a las gun or las pistol and sword. I get a combat vest, Imperial Guard flak armor, a grapnel and line, 12 LHO sticks. What the fuck are they? What's that?
Glow sticks,
like
mate.
dynamite.
Glow sticks. Glow sticks.
Yeah, fucking rave sticks. Yeah.
They're glow sticks, mate. They're just called glow
Okay, cool.
sticks.
Well, I've only got 12.
Oh, they're
so
cigarettes.
parties are limited. And some magnoculars.
Oh, no, I was right. Glow sticks are cigarettes, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love it.
I thought they were glow sticks, and then, I think I've read a few bits.
You
where
know
they got
me, mate.
some wacky backy. Shove a bit of wacky backy in there.
Stogie.
Is it a stogie?
Yeah.
that Arnold Schwarzenegger meme.
Yeah.
Well, I either have a stogie with my boys. That one. That was a terrible impression. Terrible.
Starting talents is weapon training for las and low tech, so I can use my gun that I've got basically. Starting aptitudes is between fieldcraft and leadership, and my background bonus is the Hammer of the Emperor. When attacking a target that an ally attacked since the end of the guardsman's last turn, the guardsman can re-roll any results of 1 or 2 damage rolls.
Nice.
Sounds
Nice.
pretty
Nice.
tasty to
That
me.
is good. Very good.
And then what about Barrett or Cephalus, I should say?
I am a sexy Adepta Sororitas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well,
And just reading through this,
You've
I
added
think that
something at the
they've-
beginning.
they've
You
missed-
added something at the beginning. That's not the official name, I don't think. You added your own little bit of flavour to the...
I don't know. I added some bits. They've left out, looks like, the first letter on a lot of words in this. I don't know if Reese has got that up
Wait,
on the
what do you-
screen.
what do you
knows
mean?
I'm on about, but
I don't know. I was talking about the fact that you said the word sexy. I
Well-
don't know what you're
Oh,
pointing
no,
out with this.
I do, actually. I do see what he means.
yeah, it's 3 times they've missed an F
Yeah,
off at the
mate,
start.
when they were typing it, the F button wasn't working. So at least you know.
Yeah, but I've read
At
ahead.
least you know.
So legends say that in the final moments of the Reign of Blood, Lycia Dominica, leader of the warrior daughters of the Emperor, stood before the Golden Throne with a select few trusted of her order. There they received the light of the Emperor, filling them with terrible purpose to defy the tyrant who had taken control of the ecclesiarchy and incited the worst civil war since the Dark Heresy.
Oof.
When they emerged from the most holy chamber, they carried his righteous fire with them. Dominica rescinded upon the treacherous High Lord Vandire and ended his terrible reign along with his life.
Pussy-o. Smashed him up.
Yeah,
That's good.
pretty crazy.
I didn't know that was how the sister... That was a pretty cool little thing there. I didn't even know about that.
No, sounds pretty tasty actually.
And as far as the skills and things like that go,
My starting skills. I've got athletics, and then I have charm or intimidate. Probably take a little charm.
Sometimes both.
Common law is Adeptus Sororitas. Linguistics of High Gothic, and either Medicae or Parry.
okay.
I start with either a hand flamer or a las pistol. Chain blade, an armored body glove, a chrono, data slate, a stab light, and micro beads.
Microbead.
Flesh is weak.
So the armored body glove sounds pretty interesting as well. That like PVC maybe, but
I'm assuming that's Yeah, it sounds like it. It looks like it.
It looks like it. What do you mean it looks like it? What have you been
He's
looking
wearing
at?
it.
Well, you
Been
bought
looking at-
you bought your props, have you?
He's ordered the cosplay.
We'll leave that for episode 1. And then I start with weapon training in either flame or las and chain.
Las and chain.
Aptitudes are offense or social.
Okay.
And then my background bonus, I'm incorruptible devotion. Whenever an Adeptus Sororitas character would gain 1 or more corruption points, she gains that many insanity points, -1 to a minimum of 0 instead.
Uncorruptible.
You can't be corrupt, but you can go a little bit insane.
Well, we'll see.
Half of the
we'll
course,
see
isn't
what
it?
happens.
Yeah, it makes
In the
sense.
41st millennium.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what goes down. You might see some shit and then be like, "Whoa, I've just seen that stuff. Can't deal with it." You looked under Toby's robes.
And her flesh was weak.
The next stuff is each of our roles.
Yes. So I have opted for the path of the sage. Such is the unimaginable depth of information the Imperium deals with that only acolytes specially trained or augmented to understand can hope to use it with any degree of skill. Sages are talented individuals known by many names, such as Auto Savants, Lex Mechanicus, and Caluxus Logi. They are often members of the Adeptus Administratum or Adeptus Mechanicus, and trusted with the storing and cataloguing of huge amounts of data. Sages have the ability to access the thousands of years of stored Imperial data to find missing secrets or making leaps of logic to identify them when they remain elusive. So this permits me with some role aptitudes.
The nerd.
So I am profane in the intelligence, knowledge, perception, tech, and willpower. And then I gain the role talent of either ambidextrous or clues from the crowds. More on that later. And then the role bonus is quest for knowledge. So in addition to the normal uses of fate points, a sage character may spend a fate point to automatically succeed at a logic or any law test with a number of degrees of success equal to his intelligence bonus. Intelligence, really important.
He's a smart boy.
And that is me.
You've gone full
and then
nerd
we've got
for
our
him,
own
yeah.
little bits of backstory and stuff, which we'll, once we've done all our roles, then we'll do our written backstory.
Yeah.
For me, for Bomber Smedley is a desperado. And the little bit of info about that is every world has men and women that live out on its fringes or survive by their skills with a gun, selling their talents to those in need of a bit more muscle with no questions asked. Desperados are a motley group comprising of scum, bounty hunters, slavers, pirates, and renegades, all people who exist on the border or beyond the law. Desperados are defined by their selfish natures and scorn for authority, choosing the path of the outlaw if it means living free and getting a quick score to see them through another day. Again, that's just how I'll be living.
That's how you live.
So,
Very true.
with regards to in-game role aptitudes, you're looking at agility, ballistic skill. There's a term that I know from the games that we already play. Defense, fellowship, and finesse. And my role...
You are finessing. You do be finessing.
Exactly. I hope that just means like I do something a bit more fleeky than the rest of everyone else.
Probably, it probably is. You open a door, you just like do a little spin. You walk through.
In my little cowboy boots.
Yeah.
My role talent is either catfall or quick draw. which one of them sounds very exciting, and one of them sounds probably quite helpful, but not as exciting. So I'll probably be going with quick
Catfall
draw.
does
But
sound
we'll
pretty
see.
exciting.
And my roll bonus is move and shoot, in which once per round, after performing a move action, a Desperado character may perform a single standard attack with a pistol weapon he is currently wielding as a free action. Now, this may come into play with what I choose as my weapon, because I can choose either a las pistol and a sword or whatever, or I can choose a las gun. But I've got a little thing here that gives me a benefit to my pistol shooting. So maybe I'll go for a pistol. I don't know. Yeah,
you're a bit of a
that's me.
gunslinger, aren't you? You don't see someone whipping out a las gun, do you?
Yeah,
little
true.
pistol out the holster.
Quick draw las gun.
Yeah, just like lifts it up like that.
But yeah, that is me. So moving on to Barrett.
Nice. Yeah, I defend against the denizens of the warp, basically. I'm a righteous warrior who battle against the unholy with sword and shield. Skilled with a blade or a hammer is my strength, and that allows crusaders to stand against the demons where others falter. While hell-forged blades and wicked claws can rend flesh and end lives, the greatest threat the demon poses is to the soul. To enter the fray against the denizens of the warp, crusaders must have faith and unyielding as adamantium.
Okay.
So my role aptitudes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got knowledge, offense, strength, toughness, and willpower. And my role talent is either bodyguard or deny the witch. Pretty cool. And then my role bonus is smite the unholy. In addition to the normal uses of fate points, a crusader character can also spend a fate point automatically, pass a fear test with a number of degrees of success equal to his willpower bonus. Well, it says his, but I'm a she, so...
Well, that's not on.
It's a little complaint that way. No. Get on to their HR about that.
Can't support.
Who's our HR rep?
Toby's the
It's
HR
Toby.
rep.
You just WhatsApp Toby.
You have to-
Is the
Yeah.
HR.
We'll do that.
Yeah. I'll get it
In
ironed out.
addition... Yeah, cheers. In addition, whenever, again, he inflicts a hit with a melee attack against a target with the fear trait, he inflicts X additional damage and counts his weapon's penetration as being X higher.
Okay.
Sweet. That's pretty good. That means you're smashing it with the old sword now.
Yeah. The way I like it.
Whatever you want. You punch him if you want. Just smack him in the face. Slap him.
No, I got a big old chain sword. I'll be cutting.
Yeah,
That
it's
too.
true.
Yeah.
Tearing it out, mate.
So our proper little lore-based introductions then.
Oh, wait. Has Toby done his one yet?
Yeah, I went first.
Yeah, you went
Oh, yeah,
first. That's the
sorry.
order that we've
My
been
bad.
going in.
Yeah, he's
my bad.
first.
But if Toby would like to go ahead and read his thing.
Accessing memory bank. Identification: Tiber 343 Mark IV. Origin: Forge World, Edux. Opening memory strand 28328. Final cybernetic bound itself to the plate, the skull, the metallic were. The new data cogitator far surpassed that of his nearest rival, which pleased Tiber immensely. An emotion he was yet to suppress in his neurobank. His goal of becoming a calculus logi was within reach. Years of research, study, and custom cybernetic enhancement had paid off, where so many of his peers had fallen. Some were taken by madness through over-implementation, others lost on quests for ancient forgotten technologies. Some even fell to the corruption of the Dark Mechanicus and filled with tainted scrap code. But not him. His patience, perseverance, and the blessing of the Omnissiah allowed him to succeed where others had failed. Tiber rose in the ranks on the Forge World Edux soon after, his data storage unmatched by any other, which gained him the attention of off-worlders. Although his duty to the Mechanicum was great, his duty to the Emperor was greater, and he found himself conscripted into the Holy Inquisition. Once dedicated to the study and the teachings of the Omnissiah, he now served in a different way, by routing out Chaos, Taint, and his Dark Mechanicum brethren, and any tech heresy in the name of the Imperium.
Very nice.
And there he was, writing boobs on a calculator. Hit it, Joe.
Quick sip.
That's very in character.
That's proper
I like
bomber,
it.
that, isn't it?
I'm getting it. That's just classic what he would do, to be fair. And then I'll have a little...
a cold beer.
I'll spark up a little low, mate. So... Hive World Landrun was a cruel and inhospitable place. The scraps from the ecclesiarchy in the upper hive rarely made their way to the slums below, and poverty was rife. Gangs ruled where the law could not go, and the enforcers were far and few between. Born of a ganger father and a poor mother, Bomber Smedley was a gun for hire from a young age. He bloodied himself in the fighting pits as a boy, fighting chemrats, beasts, and other fighters, all competing for the small scraps and respect. His work with a pistol allowed him to move up the pecking order quickly, a swathe of dead in his wake. Bomber had no allegiances and nothing to tie him down. His infamy and the respect of gangs were the only things keeping him alive in a world where you would either go all in or leave with nothing. The gangs weren't the only ones taking notice, though, and he was soon forced into the ranks of the Astra Militarum, training recruits taken from Landrun to fight across the stars. His former foes were now his squad mates, and when they took to the stars, his prowess in battle and leadership qualities were renowned. Renowned. And that's not even my words. He was never really accepted into the ranks of the Guard, nor were his men, but their talents were appreciated elsewhere in the Emperor's Inquisition.
That's that sidestep promotion, isn't it, right there?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just classic Bomber, mate. So...
send him into the places where no one else wants to go.
Pretty much, yeah. But again, the mention of a pistol, so I'm thinking I'm definitely going to have to go for the pistol here. It suits me too much. It's what I'm known
It's
for.
your first step on becoming a Kellamorph.
It's what I'm known for,
Three pistol bomber right there.
One pistol between his butt cheeks.
Moving over to Cephalus. This one's quite a long one, so I'm going to go and get some food or something if you guys just want to talk amongst yourselves.
To be honest, it's only a little bit longer than yours.
I'm only joking. Cephalus, if you wish.
It's Sister Cephalus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
In character already.
Sister Cephalus was born on the penal world of Thotica 6, and she was raised in secret by her mother. Cephalus only knew hardship as a child. Her father, a deceased inmate, cared little of the burden of her life, which...
What have you done to him? Why have you given this ridiculous words to read?
It's not. It's not.
Father... No, hold on.
He just lost his space.
No, I didn't. Her father, a deceased inmate, cared little of the burden her life was on her mother.
Oh, is that some punctuation errors from the law master?
Punctuation error.
Like.
The burden of what
her father, a deceased inmate, cared little of the burden her life was on her mother.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't care about the burden.
Yeah, he don't care. He's dead as well. And basically, that implies that he wasn't really in a relationship with the mother.
He don't care.
Just
and he's dead.
He's fucking dead. Why does it matter?
We'll start that from that sentence again then. Her father, a deceased inmate, cared little of the burden on her life. Oh, fucked it up.
Just start from the next sentence. Poorly written, if you ask me.
There's more to that sentence. There's
the woman who, yes, a list.
Fed her and kept her from harm for 14 years.
Yeah, it's a list.
Go on.
Yeah, the woman who had fed her and kept her from harm for 14 years. The facility in which they were kept was a dank, dark place filled with corruption and taint.
Why are you laughing, mate? This is an emotional story.
Well, anyway, it's a horrible place, and it's filled with corruption and the whispers of madmen and the stench of death. The pair would look to the stars for guidance and protection each night. I thought it said protection each other. Literally can't fucking read anything.
You can give us the Barrett paraphrase, because I feel like Reese has thrown you some long words
as
and
he
some
said,
dodgy punctuation.
He referred to himself as a Tolkien. He's done me a
No,
real...
I was joking, saying that because he writes long-winded.
Before we started recording. That's an actual quote.
I have to listen to audiobooks because I can't handle normal books. Mate, Bruce, do you want to finish reading this? I feel like I'm not doing it any justice. You put a lot of
I'll go through it.
A lot of work into this.
Right. The facility in which they were kept was a dark, dank place. Dank means unpleasantly moist, by the way, not full of weed. Right. Filled with. Right. No, I can't read. The whispers. Right. Here we go. Filled with corruption and taint, the whispers of madmen and the stench of death. The pair would look to the stars for guidance and protection each night, with a prayer on their lips to the Emperor. Then came the day Cephalus became a woman. A new purpose filled her, and she shone with a radiant light. Her prayers became power, and her power moved her fellow inmates to purge the unholy prison they lived in. Her as their leader. She illuminated the darkest reaches, and her zealotry slew the tainted hosts who resided there. Although her crusade was pure, her actions did not go unnoticed, and it was clear the corruption had spread to those above. The guards made an example of her and her followers, chastising and culling them en masse, with Cephalus herself allowed to live and watch her mother die alongside her allies. However, all was not lost. Kept in isolation, the sounds of gunfire echoed on the other side of the heavy metal door. Guards screamed and dull, wet thuds could be heard as their bodies were churned apart under a relentless barrage of fire. Heavy boots stopped on the other side of the door. It creaked open. A sliver of blinding light shone through the crack before it was swung with such force enough to break its hinges. A feminine figure wearing black power armor stood before her, a bolt gun hanging at her hip and her hand outstretched. Cephalus took it and was escorted far, far away from that place, leaving it all behind to start a new life as an Adeptus Sororitas.
Nice. Lovely.
I couldn't have read all of that.
There was one line in there.
To be fair, as I was reading, I changed a few bits. Reworded it because it was a bit dodge, a couple of bits. Only because I repeated her like 6 times, I think, in one bit. That's why you need an editor.
True. So from there, with our backstories, and if you understandably need to read it for yourself after listening to us try and sort of struggle our way through Reese's Tolkien-esque writing, then you can head to the website. There'll be a blog post. It'll all be there written up for you as well.
I'll edit it as well.
So you won't be able to pick out any mistakes, is what Reese is saying. So don't even try. Don't even try and pick out any mistakes. So there you have it. That is our character introductions, and I'm going to cut it there and save the character creation, the full character creation, for next week. Now, if you liked what you heard, please let us know. This is unprecedented for us. This is completely new terrain, if you like. We'd love to hear from you as well. So get over to chilltune.co.uk, fill out that contact form, and let us know what you thought of the episode. Let us know in the YouTube comments. Let us know in the Facebook group. Everything. And I can say this with confidence for once. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.